Welcome once again to our show, and this is Frank Avila, your host. I want to thank everyone who makes this show possible, Pops, Tony, William Gadomski, and everybody here at the staff at CAN TV. But I most want to thank you, our viewing audience, because you're who makes this show what it is. Thank you for watching. And today we have a great guest, no stranger to our show. He's been on before. Great candidate. He's endorsed by the Illinois Committee for Honest Government, Luis Arroyo Jr.
How you doing, Frank?
Good, Louie.
Thank
you for being on our show.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, first of all, tell us where your district is, the basic neighborhoods and the boundaries.
The 8th District, which I'm running for in Cook County for the commissioner, it's roughly from Western on the east to Narragansett on the west, Grand Avenue on the south, and as far north as Lawrence, and it comes down a little bit, Montrose, Irving, Belmont. And that little tip there is Narragansett, and Belmont is the furthest northwest.
Wow, and that's a big area, and it's a big map, a lot of different areas. So you might have a little bit of like Belmont, Cragen, maybe.
Yes, we do. We have all the way from Wicker Park, Bucktown, Humboldt Park, all the way to Reese Park, Hermosa, Belmont, Cragen, a little bit of Ravenswood, Avila. So it's a pretty big area.
Also Logan Square.
Definitely Logan Square. Yes.
Okay.
Which I am a resident of.
Oh, okay, very good, very good. Nice area, and I know that a lot of people there are bike riders, and they're environmentally friendly, and you yourself are an avid bike rider, and you do a lot of stuff with the environment. You're talking about clean air and clean water.
Yeah, I think more of our youth need to be more informed as far as environment is concerned. I have the pleasure of being endorsed by Congressman Mike Quigley, and there's some issues that I believe we need to resolve. I know the county is responsible and in the process of buying over 25,000 acres of open space, and that's something that I would like to get more use of with our veterans and with our kids and educate them more on how to help clean air and water.
Okay. So we know where the district is, so if you live in this district, anywhere from Belmont, Cragen, to Avila, to Logan Square, to Wicker Park, Humboldt Park, any of these areas, all the way to the north of, all the way to Lawrence, really, right? You said Montrose, yep. And all the way west to Narragansett, all the way east to Western. If you're in this area, pay attention to this show. Don't turn that channel. Even if you're not in that district, don't turn that channel, because maybe you have friends or family in that district. You want to call them, tell them to vote for Luis Arroyo, or you want to volunteer on his campaign. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about who is Luis Arroyo.
Well, Luis Arroyo I'm a young man at 39 years of age, married with 2 children. I have a 2.5-year-old son, a 19-year-old daughter. Born and raised in the 8th District most of my adult life. I was actually born in a Region American Hospital, which is in the district. I went to grammar school at Lloyd Elementary, which is in the district, and graduated from Steinmetz High School, which is also in the 8th District. And I'm currently enrolled in a Degree Without Walls program at Northeastern University, which is also, Frank, in the district.
Wow. So you have deep roots in the district, literally from your birth.
Yes, and it's something that I am going to continue as the next Cook County Commissioner, and that's one of my pledges to the community, is to continue to be involved with the residents and the constituents of the 8th District.
Well, that's good. I guess sometimes you have these candidates, they move in just for the election, or they don't have any roots in the area, or they move in just for their own self-aggrandizement, just so they can get elected to office for their own ambitions rather than really being part of the community. And you have long and deep roots in the community for basically almost your entire life, being born in the community and being in the community now.
Yes.
Not just moving in for the election.
Yeah, no, sir. Ever since, being born in the district, and for most of my adult life in high school, in Logan Square. And it's something where I continue to be, and something that I think I will stay for the rest of my life, because it's a great area. It's always moving. It's always something going on, and the people are involved. And it's something that I'm going to advocate for as the next county commissioner.
Now tell us, if anybody wants to get in contact, do you have a website, a street address, a phone number for your campaign office?
You can get more information at louis2014.com. Our campaign office is located at 4892 West Armitage, and that phone number is 773-622-8295. Once again, 773-622-8295.
Okay, and that phone number or website is across the screen as we've been talking, and it's Luis LUIS2014.com. Check it out, learn more about them. And if you have some questions, maybe you can contact the campaign office, and hopefully we get some of them answered here today. And again, give us your phone number.
773-622-8295.
And one more time, your physical campaign office.
4892 West Armitage.
Okay. Armitage and...
Armitage, just a little west of Cicero.
Okay.
Yes.
Armitage and Cicero approximately. And north side of the street, I think?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And so if you can go by Armitage and Cicero, just a little bit west of Cicero, north side of the street, there's a campaign office. It's spacious. You have literature. You have a lot of information. Learn about the candidates. And don't just vote for Luis Arroyo because I say that you should vote for him. Vote for him because you research the candidates and you believe in his issues. And he's got a lot of good mail out there, a lot of good information, a lot of good policy stands. And one of them is you're going to be a full-time commissioner. Is that correct?
Well, that's the main focus on why I'm running for Cook County Commissioner, because we've lacked a voice in the 8th District. My pledge to the community is to be a full-time commissioner in the 8th District and to keep advocating and be that voice of the residents in the 8th District, Frank. When it comes time to a vote on the county board, I want to be able to consult the residents and the people that live in the district and the people that are going to be effective. I think that if that's something that I continue to do is consult with my constituents, I'll be okay.
Okay. And that sounds good. I mean, if you're going to dedicate your time, your energy to that, I think that's very important because you have a lot of service in the county. Let's talk about the county. Some people don't even know what Cook County does. And they don't know, you county, is it the city, is it the water rec, is it township government? But, you have the jail, and that's a big part of your tax bill. Hopefully nobody has to go through there, but you might go through there. You might have a relative. Maybe you went through there. Maybe you had a problem in life. Maybe you have a son, daughter, relative, brother, sister who's gone through the jail. The jail's important. The sheriff, the court system.
You have the jail. You have the jail system, Frank. You have a big part of it as well as the healthcare system, which is something that I want to look more into, so that our healthcare and our seniors have more accessibility to the healthcare. And one of the things you mentioned briefly was the court system and the jail system.
And it's the largest consolidated court system in the world.
Yes, yes. And there's some things that I would like to see and look more into when I get there to see how we can kind of consolidate some services. Back to the jail system, I think a lot of our inner city youth go to jail because they lack the prevention programs in the neighborhood. And that's something that I would like to advocate for and be a part of, and that's to bring more prevention programs for our youth. When I was growing up, after school, you were able to go to a boys club, a YMCA, an after school program. I think we're lacking that, and that's something that I want to bring back to help with the minds of our youth today.
Okay. And I think you're right. I mean, certainly there's some people that need to be separated from society, locked up for a long time. But there are a lot of kids who do something small, do something minor, and they just need to get put on the right track, whether that's Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, martial arts, soccer, baseball, mentorship program, art, painting, music, whatever it is. I mean, kids all have their different paths. But whatever it is, they need to get something positive where they're learning skills, where they're doing something, that's physical or artistic, that keeps them off the street, that keeps their mind focused on something positive and constructive and productive.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think that they need to look too far. I believe all that should start in the community and start at home. We need to bring more programs to the 8th District and more programs in the inner city, not just in the 8th District, but throughout the county and city as well.
Okay. And I know the county has recreational facilities with the forest preserves and other county properties. And I mean, the county used to have swimming pools in some areas. They used to have the toboggan slides in some areas. So it'd be nice to see some of those maybe.
Well, those are things that I would like to bring back, and something that I hope you can assist me with would be bringing more environmental friendly issues too for our returning veterans, and use some of those open air spaces to help them back with the transition.
And I know you've been helping veterans, and you've been doing a lot of programs, emphasizing programs for veterans. Tell us a little bit about what you want to do for some of the veterans.
Well, I think our veterans in Cook County, based on the chairman that they've had for the last 4 years, which is the commissioner that is there now, he sat on the board as chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee and has failed our veterans throughout Cook County by not even calling one meeting. If I had the honor of chairing a committee, I want to hold and consult with our residents and hold monthly meetings and make sure that the people have their voice. And one of the things, like I mentioned before, is when our veterans come back is for job placement. I believe there's still a lot of manufacturing jobs that are available in the district and a lot of jobs that we can help support through our own community.
Okay. I think you're right, and we've had a bad economy, but we got to start getting these jobs back, and there's things the county can do to help people bring back in targeted areas, I think, to bring jobs, manufacturing and other high-tech, other types of jobs. I know there's that hub now, that high-tech hub.
Yes.
But I'd like to see some things in minority and lower income communities that are affected by this high-tech hub. I just don't want to see, clearly these people are brilliant people, and I give them a lot of credit, guys who make Facebook and, these young kids who invent something on the internet. I mean, I can't do that. But I also want to see things for some minority and lower income kids in terms of this high-tech hub and some of the high-tech activities that are going on. I mean, I want to see those geniuses come and the richer people come to Chicago, these younger professionals. I want to see that, but I don't want to displace or forget about lower income and long-term residents either.
Definitely, I agree with you 100%. But again, I think it starts in the community with our young kids. If you get them young enough through high school, and for some of those nonviolent offenders that live in the area, if we can help them with jobs and help them with placement. I have the privilege of saying that I've been endorsed by a few major labor councils and labor Teamsters. Mine Teamster Local 700, Joint Council 25, 150 engineers, 399 engineers, and the ability and the relationship that I have with them. I would like to bring also union jobs to the district, which are great paying jobs for some of our inner city youth and returning veterans. There's a program that I believe that they have in state government, which is called Helmets to Hard Hats, and
Great
that's something that I would like to help prosper more so in the county and help with that job type placement for our veterans. I believe they deserve it, and I'm willing to take that on.
Yeah, I participated in Helmets Hard Hats with Mick Yeager,
Yes.
From the Teamsters, and a lot of other good people. I met Jimmy Hoffa from the Teamsters. He came in, and if you're a truck driver in the Army, for example, you can come out and become a Teamster truck driver, and there's a transition for that. Or a county, as you're saying, a county truck driver, and get people, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, good paying jobs that they can provide for their families and learn good skills that are productive for themselves and society.
I think that's big. I think everything, again, Frank, starts in the community, bringing jobs back, economic development. Labor jobs are great jobs, and I'm also going to be a champion for equal pay for women. I think a lot of people tend to forget about that women are just as equal as men and have the same capabilities that men do and deserve the equal pay.
Now, tell us a little bit about, let's talk about politics a little bit. Where are you on the ballot?
I have the honor of being first on the ballot.
First on the ballot.
My number on Election Day, which is Tuesday, March 18th, please vote 101 for Luis Arroyo Jr. And I pledge to you, the residents and constituents of the 8th District, to be a full-time commissioner.
101, and he's first on the ballot, so it's easy to find. And 101, I think, is an easy number to remember. 101. Like 101 Dalmatians. I always try to get somebody to remember something. My dad's punch number is 72. For those of you old enough, you might remember the 1985 Chicago Bears. That's Refrigerator Perry's number, 72. And so 72, you got to remember that big football player, great football player from the 85 Bears, Refrigerator Perry. And 101, you can think of 101 Dalmatians, all those dogs helping Luis Arroyo get elected. Sometimes you got to do those memory techniques for those numbers, because there's a lot of numbers out there, right? So you had 100 numbers right before you on people are running for office, and got judges, all these water rec, all these different candidates. So Illinois Committee for Honest Government, one of the sponsors of this show, endorses Luis Arroyo.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think also Hispanic American Labor Council endorsed you.
Yes, sir.
And a number of the local elected officials have endorsed you.
Yes, I have been endorsed by the Democratic Party.
Right.
I also have the privilege of being endorsed by 2 U.S. congressmen, that being Mike Quigley and the Honorable Luis Gutierrez.
Oh, Congressman Gutierrez,
yes.
Champion of immigration rights, and
Yes.
Congressman Quigley has done a lot of stuff with the environment. And then also Alderman Roberto Maldonado has done a lot with seniors.
Yes.
Great
yes.
seniors programs and events and information for senior citizens.
Definitely. I have the privilege of working with him, and over the holidays, right before Thanksgiving, we had the pleasure of serving and helping families and giving away 500 turkeys. So I hope we touched families over the holidays. And I think people tend to sometimes forget about our seniors. Our seniors, we owe it to them to give them more honor and respect and not so much forget about them and include them in more of our activities.
Right. And Alderman Maldonado has really been a hero, a pioneer in terms of senior services and senior activities.
Yes, he has. He's actually also once held the position that I am currently running for. So, and as did Mike Quigley, Congressman Quigley. And those are two gentlemen that I am going to continue to consult with and maybe work on some issues that they wanted to champion and through, for whatever reason, didn't have the time allotted to them. So I again pledge to work with all elected officials in government to better serve our community and make sure we get the most resources in our area.
Okay. And I know Commissioner Quigley, when he was commissioner, now congressman, did a lot of stuff with property taxes and some of the financial issues of reform. And then, of course, Commissioner Maldonado did some stuff for long-term residents and seniors. So both of them kind of different areas and perspectives, but I think both things that you could do to integrate both ideas and perspectives into your service to the community.
Again, those are two gentlemen that I want to include in the process. I'm not going to have all the answers, but by including the residents of the 8th District and including other former commissioners and other elected officials to sit down so we can have resolve our issues together openly so that nothing is hidden. And like you said, Illinois is for honest government. That's something that I want to bring to the table. Honest government out in the open so that people feel like they have a voice in the community.
And I think it's good you're listening to people. You're going out listening to them. You're not just telling them what you want to do. You're also listening, you're collaborating, and you're getting mentors, even to you, that you're humble enough to say, I'm gonna collaborate. I'm gonna get some ideas from these other elected officials, other people, this average citizens. I think that's important.
And I believe so. I believe that you need the camaraderie. You need that respect from one another. And most importantly, again, the people need to have that voice. And I want the people to believe in me as I believe in you, that we can make a difference in Cook County in the 8th District on Election Day.
Now, I know some residents complain about their taxes, that sometimes the property taxes are high, or sales taxes are high, so it's affecting consumer goods. What do you think you can do to try to get these property taxes or these other tax burdens down on residents, to give them a little room to breathe?
I'd like to have open forums. I'd like to bring people in county government, taxes, you mentioned taxes from the assessor's office or what it may be, to come and explain to our residents and those people that are having problems with their taxes. Explain the process and explain the situations that they are in, and again, let the people have the voice and learn. Bring information. It's all about accessibility for me. Let the people be involved and bring government back to the people in the district.
Okay. Now, I know that crime is an issue in your district. We talked about the side of prevention, which I think is important, just as important. But what can we do for getting kids off the street, getting them into rehabilitation, rehabilitating their lives, which I know you and I both know people that, with the help of some of the people we've worked with, have changed their lives because they got a job, because they got that mentorship with people like your father, Representative Arroyo, or some of the other elected officials that we've discussed and different programs. But what do we do about making sure our streets are safe? Are you going to play an active role in, even community policing, things like that?
Oh, definitely. Again, that is something that I've pledged to do, is be a full-time commissioner, and that is be out in the CAPS meetings, work with both sides of government. Like you mentioned, CPD, county sheriffs, the police. I think we all need to put our resources together. And then that's something that I want to be able to champion, is to be an activist and advocate for the community, whether it be CAPS meetings, senior events, local school councils. Those are things that I want to be involved in and things that I want the people to have a voice in.
Right. Now, your district has a high amount of people who speak Spanish, immigrants, even some undocumented immigrants, but there's certainly a lot of legal residents, people with green cards, and then people who have become citizens over time. One of the champions of that is somebody who's endorsed you, Congressman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit of how you worked with him and how you plan to work with him in the future on some of the issues affecting immigrants.
Well, I've known the congressman for quite some time. Ever since I was a little kid, we've had a great relationship, and is somebody that I respect and admire by taking that lead role, especially being Puerto Rican descent and having that fight and being in the U.S. Congress. I'm going to continue to work with him to let the people know that they have a voice in government, they have a voice in the U.S. Congress. I want to be able to help them advocate and show them the right way of going about it and following the right rules, because I believe everybody should be treated fair and equally.
Okay, I think that's right. I think people should be treated humanely and fair and equally, and Congressman Terrace has been really a leader on those issues. Now, before the program started, you and I were talking about how your office was going to try to help sponsor Little League teams and be involved in youth sports. I know your father is a big fan of Roberto Clemente.
Oh, yes,
the
yes.
great
I think we all are.
baseball
I think
player.
we all are.
A great baseball player who, of course, I learned about as a little boy, and really is a hero to a lot of people. So tell us some of the organizations that are present that you might be able to sponsor and that you've talked about working with. I know you were talking that I know the previous sheriff used to have those basketball tournaments, and you were saying maybe bring back the Commissioner Arroyo basketball tournaments.
Definitely. I have the honor and the privilege of serving on the Shabona Park Advisory Council. And this year we were able to, working with Alderman Nick Sposato, someone who's also endorsed me, we were able to allocate over $800,000 for a new playground for the children of that park. And if you know, the Shabona Park football team, Little League football team, has won the state championship a few years in a row. They also have a great baseball program. So that's something that I want to bring back to our kids and help sponsor basketball, baseball, football, more involvement with our youth. I believe a lot of our youth today, though you mentioned earlier the hub programs and new tech positions, some of our youth, I would still like them to be more active in the community, more active in sports, exercise, be a little bit more healthy.
Well, just to kind of parlay that last couple sentences that you made, our community, the Hispanic community specifically, does have a high rate of obesity. Kids everywhere, though, as well as early onset of diabetes and adult diabetes, or even a longer onset of diabetes. So, what can we do in terms of getting kids healthier? We were talking about sports activities. I think when we were younger, we played outside a lot more.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Kids have a lot more options in terms of, and some of them are really cool, but computer games and, video games at home. I remember the only video games we could play, I'm a little older than you, but, we're at the arcade.
Yeah.
There might be Atari or something, but most of the games were at the arcade. Now kids can do everything in their home with incredible graphics and play different games on the computer and different Nintendo and Wii and 360, Xbox, and all that kind of stuff. So how do we get kids back exercising more? I think you got to make it fun. That's one thing.
You have to make it fun. You have to. I would like for them to get more use out of the forest preserve districts, help sponsor leagues, and educate them at an early age. If we start them early in education as far as they're eating right and being healthy, I think that's the great place to start for our kids. You mentioned we have a lot of juvenile diabetes in the Latino community, but in our Latino community, we also suffer from a high rate of asthma. So I believe by educating our kids, not only to help the environment, but to help themselves, would be a great start.
And some of the reason the asthma is that in the 10th ward, you get a lot of dumping there. Mm-hmm. And you have a lot of dumping in low-income and minority communities where you dumped, garbage, you had, fly dumping, you had landfills in residential areas, things like that, especially in certain communities, more on the south side, I think that. But I think that we have to see the link between our environment and the asthma.
Yes, we do. And it all starts with education.
Right.
It all starts with working together, seeing what resources we have that work and those that we could implement to help our community.
Okay. So we have a lot of problems before us, but I think that Luis Arroyo is one of the type of people who is going to try to address these problems. Won't happen overnight. When you eat a big sandwich, you got to eat one bite at a time. Sometimes people think when somebody gets elected, they can solve all the world's problems. But I think what it is, if we're moving in the right direction and somebody's committed to fixing things. So before we close out, Luis, tell us again your phone number for your office if somebody wants to talk to you or volunteer.
The address, the location is 4892 West Armitage. That telephone number is 773-622-8295.
And the website?
The website is LUIS2014.com. I pledge to the people, if you want a full-time commissioner and a new generation of leadership, don't forget, vote 101 on Tuesday, March 18th.
Okay, so 101, and you're first on the ballot.
Yes.
And you're endorsed by the Cook County Democratic Party?
Yes, and the Voice of Labor.
And the Voice of Labor. Almost all the labor unions have endorsed Luis Arroyo. I don't know one that hasn't really, so I say that with some caution because I don't know all of them. And Hispanic American Labor Council, Teamsters, the Voice of Labor, and the pick of the Cook County Democratic Party, and also the pick of a lot of environmentalists and people who are in biking and green.
Yes.
I want to thank my viewing audience for watching. You are who makes this show, and always watch us and share us on YouTube. If you're going to watch this on the internet, some of you watch this on TV on channel 19 or 21 on Cable Access Network, and some of you watch us on the internet on YouTube. And you can share it. You can share the links on your Facebook page, wherever you'd like, and we really appreciate that you watch our show. And we appreciate Luis Arroyo for being on our show. And we also appreciate that you're running for office, because, you know, I think it takes some courage, some bravery to run for office. You expose yourself and your personal life to the media and to people talking and kind of a lot of negativity sometimes. And I think it takes some courage to run for office and kind of serve people. And, you know, I know that you could be doing other things with your time.
Frank, I think we've had an absentee commissioner. So that's something that I want to change, is help bring resources and help bring government back to the people in the 8th District.
So first on the ballot, punch 101, vote for Luis Arroyo for commissioner in Cook County. And again, it's a very large district. So if you live anywhere between Western and Narragansett, from about Belmont to, what's the southern boundary?
Grand Avenue.
Grand Avenue. If you live in that area, please vote for Luis Arroyo. And thank you for watching. Goodbye, and God bless.